What's up, guys? So in this video we're going to go over a concept in supply and demand that I see a lot of beginners do, and it's a huge mistake when you're trading. Alright, so I'm going to show you, break it down exactly, show you some examples of basically this mistake that you should be avoiding. Alright, now if we go ahead and look at ES, I'm going to show you this 30-minute demand example. Alright, now I was actually watching this today on, I was watching it on SPY. I have a bunch of levels here, but you can see this 30-minute demand on SPY. I'm just going to do it on ES because it's a cleaner chart. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Now, this is a pretty good demand zone. All right, let's just get right into it. All right, so price pops up. We come back down. We have a little drop, base, rally. We have this huge squeeze higher. We leave this demand. Price almost gets down to it here. Come up. We come back down. We end up going right through it on a 30-minute time frame. But if we go into like a 5-minute time frame, you can see we actually get a little bit bounce here. Okay, and this is where I see a lot of beginners make this mistake. Okay, now there's a couple different ways that you can trade supply and demand, right? One of them being very simply is, okay, if we have a zone like this, you know, we have this consolidation, the fast move higher, come back down to it, just like this. The first way that you can play supply and demand is simply by getting in right as price comes down to it, right? So getting in right when price hits, put your stop right at the lows, targeting either a supply zone, liquidity, whatever it is, right? This is the classic way people want to trade supply and demand. This is how I trade it too. However, there's another way you can trade it that's going to help you with situations like this, where prices get the small bounce, we immediately dump. All right? And that's simply waiting for confirmation. And confirmation in this example would be waiting for price to break the nearest high or supply zone. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of beginners make, is they'll come in, maybe they will be waiting for confirmation. They'll say, okay, I'm not going to get in right when price hits demand. I want to see the reaction. Right? It's a huge thing a lot of people say. They say, I want to see the reaction. And then something like this happens, right? Price reacts. We get a little bounce out of the zone, right? We get even more demand to form right here. We get a little 5-minute zone to form right here, okay? And so at this point, when price is all the way up here, that's when the typical mistake is like, oh, we're bouncing from demand. It's looking pretty solid. We got a nice engulfing candle. I'm going to look to get in long. And they end up getting in long here and then immediately get crushed. Okay? And the reason for this is because you need to incorporate trend in your trading. And what I talk about is, you know, waiting for price to break the last high or supply zone. So let me go ahead and show you this, right? This is our zone. Now, if we look at this part of the chart, right? So from this point on to the left, we're looking over here, right? Where is our nearest supply zone or high, right? Well, it's pretty easy to tell, right? The nearest high we have is up here. And supply zone, we zoom out a little bit, probably be going like a 30-minute, maybe an hourly. It would be an hourly right here, just like that, all right? So you can see when you have this that, okay, well, if price is bouncing from demand, I want to see it get above supply, or at least this high, before I look to get into a trade. Because if you're simply getting in, you know, without price breaking supply, then you're simply just missing out on the advantage of letting the trend play in your favor, right? Because let's think about this for a second. If price is doing something like this, let's say we have this demand zone, all right? We have this demand zone here. Let's say price came down to it, consolidated. We had that huge move up. We created that demand zone. And we come down, blah, blah, blah. We do something like this. When price is going down to a demand zone, it's forming a downtrend. Like, in order for price to get down to that demand zone, there has to be a downtrend that forms. And in that downtrend, there's most likely going to be supply, right? It may be up here, maybe at every single little high that forms. There's going to be supply that forms for price to get down there. Now, aside from using the big supply zone up here that caused the entire high, right? There's probably going to be one earlier down as price gets down there. And what you want to do is wait for price to break that supply before you look to get long. And doing that is going to give you a much better confirmation that this zone is going to hold. Okay, so if we're looking at ES as well, let me go ahead and go back. If price were to do something like this, price were to bounce up above this supply, then I would look for a pullback to get long, targeting the highs all the way up here. Okay? And you can even use this for literally anything, right? Throughout this entire day, right? At this point, price is downtrending, downtrending, downtrending. We never break a high. Okay? You can maybe consider right here when we take out this high. But this is actually just a stop on. This is not a real break of structure right here. Okay? So we never actually took out a real high. We never actually broke structure of a previous high. So simply just playing off trend, if we don't ever break the high, there's no reason to get long, ever. Okay, there's no reason to ever get long. Once we see that, okay, price finally breaks that high, now we say, okay, now price may be looking to get long. Right now price is starting to turn a little bit bullish. This is a sign that's telling us buyers are in control. And literally all you have to do is let price tell you what it's doing, right? It's like if price is coming down into demand, like yes, I do believe that price is going to bounce off this demand zone today when it came down to it. But by waiting for confirmation and just letting price do its thing, letting it tell me what it wants to do, stop me from getting into this trade, right? Price literally tells you. Price said like, okay, we had a little bounce. Did we get above supply? No. So we're probably going to keep going lower. Boom. So I'm not going to look to buy this if price is still going down. Even now, right? The entire day. Just forming downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. It doesn't matter if there was, if there was a demand zone all the way up here. Even if it's one of the best demand zones ever created, I'm not going to look to get long this thing until price finally ends up breaking this high here. Because that tells me, hey, we're now starting to see an uptrend, right? When price breaks that high, that means we are now starting to see an uptrend. And let me show you one other mistake that a lot of beginners do as well, right? Let's say we are trading this. Go right here. Let me even do this. Let's go back to that 30-minute demand zone we had, all right? Because this mistake is actually very, very common, even with this confirmation, right? Let's zoom in on a 5-minute. No, let's zoom in on a 1 minute. Let's go very zoomed in. Price comes off this demand, and what do we see happen? We start to see signs of an uptrend. We make a high, a low, and we make a higher high. And when this starts to form, you may be thinking, Jordan, we're forming an uptrend. I'm going to look to buy. Price took out supply right here, right? Price took out supply. Shouldn't I look to get long? And the answer is no, right? Because this high right here never took out this low. So it doesn't matter, right? You need to look at highs that take out lows. Those are your highs that really matter, right? So in this case, this high right here was able to take out this low here because price ended up going way below this low, okay? So this is the real high that you want to see price get above before you start to look to get long. It doesn't matter if price goes like this, like this, like this. We form a mini uptrend and we could dump like here. As long as this high is intact and price doesn't get above this high, sellers are in control and sellers are going to bring price lower unless we see that break above. Okay, so it's very, very important that you understand where your strong highs and your strong lows are and you understand the trend. Okay, because doing this is going to allow you to not get into demand zones like this, especially catching it at the worst time, right? This is, I know for sure there's a lot of people who probably gotten along here saying, we're bouncing from demand. Look, we got a nice little confirmation. Price is starting to move higher. Doesn't matter if price is moving higher. If supply has not been taken out, sellers are in control. And you do not want to get long when this is happening. Okay? You can see throughout this entire day, you would have avoided any type of buying. Okay? You could say, oh, there's a supply zone here, demand zone here. You could say, oh, there's another demand zone down here. It doesn't matter. Okay? You need to wait and let price tell you what it wants to do. If you can do that, you can make a lot of money trading and also lose a lot less money trading, okay? So if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to learn more about how I trade, learn my exact strategies, all you have to do is click the first link in the description down below. Okay, you can watch a video, book a call with someone from my team. We'll help you out with your trading, give you a free strategy session, and that's essentially it. We're literally giving those out for free. So it is going to be a lot of help for you. If you're interested in becoming a full-time trader, that is going to be the link that you're going to want to click. All right. Now, guys, please leave a like. Please subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below other videos I should make. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.